Welcome back to another episode of Young Bub Talk. Today, we're diving into a fascinating topic. Why has the average lifespan increased so dramatically over the past few decades? Just think about it. Back in 1960, the average lifespan in Korea was only 50 years. But by 2010, that number jumped to 80. What's behind such rapid growth?
It's incredible, isn't it? Most people would say it's because of medical advancements, new treatments, better healthcare, all that stuff. But what's really driving this change? It's not just about better medicine, is it?
Right. The foundation for this change started much earlier, with a generation known as the analog generation, those born between 1904 and 1939. These people were busy during the 60s and 70s, working hard to build the nation from the ground up. Life expectancy back then was pretty short. Most people didn't make it past 60, so living to 50 was considered long enough. It was a time when the main focus was survival and nation building, not necessarily about solving societal problems.
So they were just laying the groundwork for future generations, right? They did what they needed to do, and once they completed their foundational tasks, they didn't feel the need to stick around. That's why the average lifespan was so short. It was less about thriving, more about just getting things started.
Exactly. The world they were in wasn't ready for solving big societal issues. It was the era of subsidy, the age of private law, where personal survival and growth were key. But now, as we enter the era of Jungbub Gangui, which started around 2013, we're moving into a time when we need to manage and use the things we've already built. We're no longer in survival mode. Now it's about creation and proper management.
So the goal isn't just to keep building, but to manage what we've built wisely? That's a big shift. It's like we're moving from a chaotic phase into a phase where we're expected to keep everything in balance. How do we do that? What does that look like in everyday life?
It's actually about understanding the 3.7 rule, which is rooted in grand nature. This principle states that 70% of the work has been done, and now it's up to us to take care of the remaining 30%. The world has developed up to 70%, and from here on out, it's about managing the rest. This is Jungbub Gangui, the era of human-centered management of grand nature.
So the 3.7 rule applies to pretty much everything: our bodies, the earth, the universe itself. Even Korea, as the root of the world, is structured by this rule, with 70% of the land being mountainous and the rest being fertile land. It's kind of like nature's blueprint for balance, right?
Exactly. And this principle doesn't just apply to land, it applies to humans too. Our bodies are made up of 70% water, and if that balance is disturbed, things go wrong. It's the same idea with society. When we get off track, things start to shake. In fact, we're already seeing some of that shift, aren't we?
Oh, definitely. The world's current state of chaos is a sign that we've hit the 70% mark in development. Earth itself is feeling the effects: volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, natural disasters. They're all signs of the shifting energy. But what's interesting is that this shift is tied directly to us, to human actions and words.
That's right. Human speech and emotions play a huge role in this. Think about it. When we speak words of anger or resentment, we're actually influencing the Earth's energy. Wars start with words, and terrorism is born from societal frustration. The way we think and speak can either help or harm our environment.
It's a little mind-blowing, right? The very things we say could be shifting the Earth itself. And right now, as humanity reaches this point of spiritual and physical exhaustion, we have to make a choice. Do we continue on this path of negativity, or do we turn things around?
Exactly. This is the critical point in history. If we understand the law of grand nature, we can choose to be part of the solution instead of contributing to the chaos. We have to be aware of the impact our words and actions have, not just on society, but on the world.
So essentially, we're at a crossroads. The Earth is moving, shifting, everything is in flux. The question is, what do we do next? How can we manage what we've built so far?
And that's exactly the question we need to ask ourselves. The next step is about managing with wisdom, understanding, and balance. The past generations set the foundation, And now it's our turn to lead in a way that honors the law of grand nature.
It's heavy stuff, but the hope is that from 2013 onward, we'll begin to see a shift, a turn towards hope, wisdom, and a human-centered approach to managing the world. That's the real second creation, isn't it?
It is. We're at the beginning of a new era, Jungbub Gangui, the age of managing what we've created. It's up to us to make sure the world doesn't fall apart at this critical juncture. Let's hope we can rise to the challenge.
And that's a great place to leave it for today. The journey has just begun. We'll continue this conversation in the next episode. Stay tuned.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Take care and think about what we've discussed today.